Hello, friends. This is Scott. And the last time I was in Salt Lake, I wanted to show you a new little friend that's been feeling more comfortable getting up on our deck. We have a deck that's 18 feet off the ground approximately that comes off our kitchen. And we've seen, squirrel, fairly regularly here, but didn't realize that there's a couple of them. So again, this is the same one I'm filming today, but I did see the second one, and there's probably more. But I think they live mostly in the neighbor's yard, but they like to come over to our house because we have these flowering pear trees. They're ornamental that have these little berries, and I know the birds love them all winter, and as you see here, the squirrels seem to really love these little berries also. So, yeah, it's nice to see this little friend. He's got a really long tail. It's longer than his body, so yeah, just hope they don't get in the house because they're kind of destructive. So we have to make sure we keep the screen door shut, or we'll have a new friend. And I also want to show you the pond. And I've not done any water changes on this pond since my last video months and months ago. And no filtration other than the plants. As you see here, it is as clear as it's probably ever been. And again, the bottom's got a little sediment on it, but water looks good. I don't even think I'm going to do a water change this year. I'll add a little water to it maybe, and yeah, just that'll be the winterization. Pond's doing great without any formal filtration system. So now we're back down at the homestead, and I want to kind of do a walk and talk and show you what I've accomplished and how things are looking going into winter, and show you what is left to do. And the first thing is this stump that used to be a huge willow tree that was kind of famous in the neighborhood. All the neighborhood kids, or the adults now, would talk about how playing, swinging in this tree and whipping each other with the branches and things. But that tree got sick, and they cut it down about 4 years ago, and I've got that stump. So what am I going to do with it? Burn it or cut it down or what? So I don't know. It has been cold down here. It has snowed a couple times. Anywhere there's a north facing, the snow is still around, just a trace. But as you see the grass there, though, if you ever go back to my earlier videos, that this used to just be a bunch of dirt. So my seeding from last year worked well. The grass is looking much, much better. Still need to do a little weed and feed just to keep getting some of the weeds out of it. But yeah, just a little bit of time and water and little seeding and weeding, and things look much better. Now the orchard, my little, I think it's 7-tree orchard, is looking good. I still have that little, whatever kind of pine, Scottish pine tree or whatever that little thing is there. I got to figure out what to do with it. I'm afraid to move it because I'll kill it, but I need to find a new home because I want to put one more fruit tree, I think, in. But yeah, all the fruit trees have grown well, and they're all nicely mulched in, and they're fenced and ready for the deer, and the deer have been active in the neighborhood. I see them every day. Got a little bit of a mess over here to continue, and that's a city property, but I've got some kind of weeds that have been infiltrating that area, so I've got to get in there and get those torn out. But as you see here, the raspberries are doing good. They've really grown, and I will be pruning them down once they're dead. Cows, as always, when they see me, they're always thinking, he's going to bring me something to eat. So yeah, I'll show you a little of that later. Cats are feeling much more comfortable still, and I miss things with me walking through this part of the yard, and you'll see the other cats in this video. And this north side here that I've edged out and remulched, I've got to find some plants that have a little bit of they're shade hardy a little bit, and I'll be transplanting some flowers from my Salt Lake garden and bringing them down here. Just haven't done it yet, so that's still to do. But that won't be this year. That'll be next spring. And I did plant a little bit of lavender around this tree, and it didn't do much, but it's there. But apologize for my shadow, but we're kind of filming in a tough time of day, and we'll just have to kind of live with it a little bit. But yeah, the raspberries have done well, and they will fill in, I believe. And so I'm pretty excited about the future of the raspberries. And scrolling around, everything looks pretty cleaned up. I still have, the old concrete I've dug up that was old steps or old part of a wall when I've been screening the dirt. I have used a lot of the big pile of rocks to put around the bases, to kind of firm up my walls I've been building. I have not tackled the drain project from the big flood. And I'm still putting in this patio right here by removing all this dirt and making kind of a sunken patio. But that'll be the big focus for next year. This year it was all about kind of planting beds and growing some veggies. That'll be a big priority again next year. But this wall, the wall on the other side of the retaining wall, I need to hold that dirt back, as well as this patio will be my focus, along with the draining issue that I got to deal with. So again, where I had the tomatoes, they're all mulched in my little fire pit areas. The wind's been blowing, so they're blowing the chairs around. If you notice, I have burned a little bit of wood, so there's some of it's disappeared, and I hope to get through quite a bit of that because I'd like to get that wood off that wall and I still have plenty along the fence line. My little old compost area is looking a lot better. And with the sun being so bad, I decided I'd come over on the other side of the yard. And before I got started, though, I wanted to give the cows a treat. Got just a little bit of broccoli left, and I've run out of pretty much everything else to give them. So if you hear a little jingling in the background, that's Mr. Lincoln's with me here. He wasn't here with me on this trip, but he's with me as I narrate this video. But yeah, the cows are always enjoying whatever I have left to give them, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We don't have much left, so they're enjoying what I have left to give them. And there's Coquette, and she's really enjoying attention. She loves to sit on my lap, and she went from the most skittish cat to the one that's the most needy at this point. So, but they follow me around as I'm checking out the yard. And we've got one chicken out in the pen and is doing well. And I got to get my finger in the way at least once in a video. But yeah, let's look inside the coop and see what we have going on in here. And yeah, there's the other two chickens. Again, I'm down to 3. And they've really enjoyed being in the coop. They don't come out much, but they've yet to lay 1 egg for me since I've given them access to this finished coop. So, yeah, next year, got to get chickens. So here's the big pile of wood chips I still have left. What's left to use in the yard, and there's a lot here. I've used quite a bit already, but I came over to the other side of the yard just to kind of show you what I have left to do. And with the sun and everything, I decided I'd start over on this side. So here's my little front patch, and there's raspberries right there along with other berries. There's some currants, and there's some goji berries. But as you see, the raspberries, they really fill in. So give it a year on the other side. I think I'll have a pretty good raspberry patch. But the neighbor did come out and help me trim some of those trees. I've been a little under the weather and haven't got a lot accomplished, but I'm feeling a little better. And yeah, I've got to get that area cleaned up. So that's still hopefully to be done this year. I'll try to differentiate what I'm going to do this year and next year. This area is where I started a hococulture bed a couple of years ago, so there's some really good soil and broken down wood there, but I need to add to that. So that'll be something I may do this fall. I'm not sure yet, but I need to do some weeding, and I need to get all these beds mulched in. And so the corn, that's where the corn was, and there's Theo hanging out on this side of the yard, and there's Willow. So you'll get a look at all 4 cats in this video. But the strawberries I put in are alive, most of them, and so they didn't grow real big, but they're okay, and I need to mulch those a little bit more heavily. I'd hope for leaves, but the problem with Utah weather is sometimes we have time to get leaves, and sometimes it snows, on top of leaves or before the leaves drop, so we don't get to collect them in the fall. So I'm hoping for a big leaf harvest, but I don't know if I'm going to get them or not, and I'd rather mulch by planting beds where I'm actually planting more of the, the carrots, the beans, those types of smaller plants, root crops and things. I'd rather have them mulched with leaves rather than these wood chips. But I'll use what I got, and I'll use the wood chips if I need to. Now here's something to give the cows. That's the beans. That's the green beans. So I can give them some of those dead plants. And on this side over here, I still have my hard beans to pick. I'll show you that in the next video. And as you see here, all the cats are feeling pretty comfortable around here. They're all, when I'm around, they feel pretty confident to be relaxed and to enjoy themselves. And today was a beautiful day, so they're all getting a little bit of a dirt bath. So as we head into the backyard, there's the blackberries that I planted. They're doing well. I'll mulch those a little bit heavier probably, and I'll extend that bed next year. I probably won't get to that this year. Where I had the potatoes are all mulched in, except the very end where I still want to get some screen compost to try to raise the level of the soil. Don't know if I'll get to that or not. It'll all be based on the weather. The main part of the garden here has got some mulch. Still have a little bit of kale left, and so the cows will still have a little bit more to eat. But yeah, I need to mulch in the garlic. That's that dirt area. There's the garlic, and I was hoping for leaves, and I just haven't had any yet. So we'll see if I get leaves on it or just use the bark mulch. I don't know if I have enough bark mulch to do everything I want, but I'm getting pretty close. Got a little mowing to do on this side, clean that up a little bit more, and so got to do some weeding, and still have the hose out because the cows are still drinking lots of water, so I'm needing the hose still to fill the water trough. So as we head down the path, I need to put a lot of mulch in here. This is the area that I need to build up, so I'm not mulching those yet. Hopefully I'll get some more compost. But anyway, as you see, it's muddy, and it's no surprise. That's where the slope roof of the chicken coop is, and yeah, I need to mulch this area in just so I don't have 10 pounds of mud on my feet when I walk down here to take care of the animals. And yeah, looking around, everything's looking pretty good. There's the old worm now salamander bin. It seems to be doing good. I want to fill that with the manure from the pasture and then leaves. And then hopefully I have enough wood chips to mulch this area in, but we'll see if I do. I don't know. I'm going to focus on the big part of the garden in the back before I get to this. But there's Coquette, and she's enjoying a little bit of a dirt bath too. So yeah, all the cats without Mr. Lincoln here are feeling pretty good. And as you see, Willow's with me also. So let's take a look at the pasture. And as you see, that's not where I keep the water. And it's funny because I'll come sometimes after a few days being gone and the water will be gone. And I'll find it in the next pasture over, or I'll find it somewhere else in the pasture. So these cows like to play with that water, and they go through it in about 2 days. So yeah, the neighbor has water for them too, so they're never out of water when I'm not around, but I'd like to help out with that, and they like to hang out with me because I've been feeding them. So I don't think he started feeding them out of his garden yet, all the dead plants, corn stalks. So yeah, I think they'll still have some treats, but they're running out of food, so it's, I'm not sure when they're going to freezer camp, but it's not going to be too long. Again, I still have a lot of patties in the pasture I have not collected, and I want to do that and put them in, the now salamander bin. I've had a little bit of wind damage, and that was a branch from the back tree there. I got to burn up next fire I have. But as you know, I still got lots of firewood. Still have probably a cord. So yeah, I want to just burn as much as I can and enjoy being outside. And the pasture is looking pretty good, so I'm feeling pretty good about things. So yeah, there's work to be done, but we've done a lot, and I'm feeling pretty happy. Well, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, please hit that like button, and please subscribe, as I could use your help to building my channel. Thank you.